Hello, and thank you for joining me once again. My name is Rob Meyer Kukan from Seven Notes Natural Health in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And thank you for joining me for this special edition or this special episode of Rob on the Road, sort of. I want to say a great big welcome to my guest, Jessica Goniea, for joining me today. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. Thank you, Jessica.
Good afternoon. Thank you
And
for having me.
absolutely. And welcome to the show.
Fun.
Excellent. So, Jessica, your business is named Jessica's Apothecary and Spa right here in Ann Arbor in the historic Carytown area of our town, right?
Yes.
Excellent. So, first question, what is an apothecary?
It's used more mainstream now, but back in the 1800s, it was where you could get your medicines, your drugs from the druggist, customized medicines in every town had an apothecary.
Okay. And so there's this kind of historic connotation, but there's also a more modern connotation because I'm assuming you're not selling drugs.
Yeah, there were herbal medicines used by the druggists in the old pharmacies as well. Um, a lot of herbalists will call their practices apothecaries. And by no means did I want to take that away from the herbalist because I'm not an herbalist. I'm an esthetician and an aromatherapist. But I named the business an apothecary because it indicates the customized approach to my practice, where I can meet people on a one-on-one basis and customize their skincare or customize their aromatherapy blend.
Wonderful. Awesome. And so that's a perfect lead in to the next question, which is, so you're an esthetician. So tell me your story. How did you get into that line of work?
Well, it does have a long lead up. I didn't grow up knowing a lot about skincare or botanical products, even herbal teas. But when I went away to college, my college roommates introduced me to the local health food store. We bought bulk chamomile and made teas. My second year of college, I headed out to Flagstaff, Arizona, and that was like my 19-year-old awakening. Someone gave me a book on aromatherapy with a promise that I would read it. And there was an herb shop in town that was really inspiring. You could walk up to the big giant wooden counter and tell her you had a sore throat, and she would give you licorice root or licorice tincture. She would make it for you right then and there, and that was a big inspiration. I volunteered on the Hopi Reservation at the kids' camp for a week that summer, and we had an herb walk with a local medicine woman. And so that was that my introduction to plant medicines, which led me to mixing my own essential oils in almond oil, and then kind of took me on the journey. I became an esthetician when I was after I had spent a few years in college and a few years just working and trying to decide what was the next step for me in my life. And so mid 20s, I decided to make some phone calls, and the Aveda Institute was pretty much the only all natural skincare company that I knew of at the time. I called them and asked them what type of, positions they had with their company. And they said, have you heard of our esthetician program?
Mm,
So that was a doorway into this field for me.
nice. Excellent. And so your website is a wealth of information for anyone who's looking for all natural products. I love how on the one page you list um, just a lot of the different types of products that you sell and that you use in your practice. Is that the right word, practice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But I'm wondering, do you have any products that you make or sell yourself?
Well, yes. I used to have a line of oils and scrubs, all oil-based products.
Hmm.
Um, I since discontinued all of them and have just been working on a couple products that are have been born out of my research on aromatherapy or essential oils for stress.
Nice.
So I do have a new product line, Stony Creek Aromatics, and there's only 3 products in the line at this point, and they are all oil-based products. So I don't know if you want to go into that a little bit more, but
Yeah, tell us about it.
um, so my research is on essential oils for stress, and the blend of essential oils is the Restorative Mind Body blend. And it's rose, sandalwood, lavender, sweet orange, and patchouli. So I
Mm,
have a massage oil that's formulated at a 2%. I have a pulse point oil that's formulated at a 20%, and then a neat essential oil blend that can be diffused. So those are going to be the first products available in the new line, um, that will be available for people to use in their practice, like you or
awesome.
um, anybody in holistic health that wants to bring in, essential oils for stress.
Wonderful. I think I saw on Facebook the other day that you have a couple of plants growing where you live that people may be able to avail themselves of. Is this true?
Yes, chamomile. I mean, like way to come full circle from my first year of college at Central Michigan University when I'm scooping, dried chamomile into little Ziploc bags. So I have um, a farm now, and this is our second summer on the farm, and I knew I wanted to plant chamomile, but the previous owners also planted chamomile, and it turns out early spring I planted it in the same area that, like right along the same area that the other chamomile was planted, and so we have an abundance. And it's really wonderful to have been able to open up our chamomile garden this year for people um, to come pick and share in that, and socially distance, and
Right.
enjoy some chamomile for teas at home.
Nice. Is it a specific type of chamomile? Is it a Roman chamomile, German chamomile, or German? Wonderful.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, in the natural health world and in holistic medicine, we talk a lot about essential oils, and there are a lot of really amazing uses for essential oils. And we talk about distilling essential oils, and we talk about also flower essences. And there's a whole separate process for making flower essences and different uses that we can use those for. But I know that one of the things that you have talked about and use in your practice is a hydrosol. So I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what is a hydrosol, how do you make it, and how would you use it?
Yes. Hydrosols are really beautiful because they can be misted right onto the skin anytime during the day, during a facial, when you get out of the sun, anytime you just need a little pick-me-up, you can store it in the fridge and then just spray this hydrosol onto your face, and you get the water-based properties of the plant in the hydrosol distillation, versus when you use the distillation method with your plants to extract the essential oil. You're extracting the oil-based properties of the plant. So yes, I will be doing a hydrosol distillation this summer of chamomile. I'm waiting for the yarrow to bloom, and then I'll do a co-distill of the yarrow flower with
Nice.
chamomile flower and anything else that might be flowering at the same time on our farm. So what it is I have a copper still, and it fits about 2 pounds of fresh plant material. And you use distilled water, and you heat the plant material, and the whole process is about 2 hours, where you heat it slowly,
Okay.
and the water starts to rise, and it goes through a condenser and then comes out the end as a water extract or water distillation of the plant material. And there is a little bit of essential oil floating on the top. And I just shake that in, because I don't separate to extract that essential oil from the solution. I just mix it together because it's such a small amount of essential oil that's in there. I think when people distill for the essential oil specifically, they make the still much hotter and faster to push it through and get more oil out. But I do a slower method when I want to extract the water-based properties of the oil of the
Cool.
plant.
Yeah. And is it an open process, or is it a closed under pressure? I know when you distill for essential oils, it's a lot of times under pressure.
Um, it's closed, but there's not a lot of pressure. You just keep that condenser coil cold, so you have like cold water circulating, and then but then you have the heat, and you want to make sure that yeah that it just you go slowly, and
Nice.
water drips out at the end, and the whole thing smells so lovely.
I bet. Wherever you do this, I bet is just a wonderful place to enjoy the aroma of all of this stuff kind of bubbling and boiling and slowly simmering. I bet it's just what a wonderful line of work to be in.
Well, it's the end result is something that's safe for everyone, and there's really no contraindications with hydrosols. Plus, with hydrosols are more environmentally friendly, because you can get like many ounces of hydrosol
Mhm.
that more people can use, whereas with an essential oil, there's not enough plant matter in the world for everybody in the world to enjoy essential oils, whereas hydrosols are a really beautiful way of enjoying the plant essence,
Mm,
um, that can be more widely available to people.
nice. Wonderful. So we are, of course, faced with a situation in our world right now that is a very unique situation. It's a global pandemic, which I guess is kind of a double um, uh, term, but we are in the midst of a pandemic, and we are also in the midst of a time with a lot of social and political unrest. And so I'm wondering if you have a tip for those who are watching and listening, uh, of one thing that people can incorporate into their daily routines that would bring them a moment of escape or a moment of peace. Do you have a tip that you could share with us?
Oh, well, I have certain self-care practices that I can share.
Yeah.
If even if you don't want to spend a penny, I think that a steam every morning, whether you have essential oils or plant materials in there or not, is a really nice thing to do for yourself. It's easy to just get your day started and skip right over, washing your face or doing anything nice for yourself. But right now, especially with this virus, having a hot steam under a towel, even for 5 minutes, just is really good for loosening up mucus. And if you have essential oils in there that aid in the loosening up of mucus, like cypress or eucalyptus, then even better. But taking some time to do some cleansing breaths
Mm.
while you're at it, and then that's just something nice that you can do every morning. And then you wash your face and go through that ritual, get your day started, apply your sunscreen.
Mhm.
I think that's a nice way to start the day.
That's beautiful. And what I love about that is that there's sort of a multi-layered component to it where it's part skincare, part self-care, part meditation, part breath work. It's just what a beautiful tip to share. So thank you for that. Would you please share with us information about where you're located and how people can get a hold of you? Email, website, social, whatever's the best way.
Oh,
Smoke
sure.
signal,
What was that?
smoke signal.
Yeah, Morse code.
That's right.
Well, I'm at Jessica's Apothecary and Spa, and our website is jessicasapothecary.com. I can be emailed directly through that website, and there's also like my blog, videos, a lot of new things that have come up during this pandemic time, resources that are on there. But then also Instagram is great. I'm at Jessica's Apothecary, but I'm also at Stony Creek Aromatics, which goes more into like what I'm doing with aromatherapy and on the farm. And so those are the best ways.
Excellent. And I will make sure that all of that information is in the comments or in the description, the video description below. So if you didn't catch all that, we'll put it in the comments below so you can go ahead and check that out. So in closing, I always like to ask my guests who are willing to sit and chat with me to share with us some words of wisdom, the best piece of advice that you were ever given. And it can be something funny, or it can be something serious. It can be related to our conversation, or it can be completely off the wall. So Jessica, would you grace us with some words of wisdom?
I think mine are going to be off the wall
Okay.
because it's had such um, a profound effect on me. And it's the funniest thing. When I was a little girl, my parents' friend named Joanne told me how she cleans her house. And she said, I go to one room and I pick things up or do what I need to do. And maybe there's something I need to pick up from that room and take to another room. And when I do that, then I just pick up and take care of things in that room until it guides me to another room. And it's very strange piece of advice, but it has stuck with me. And it just means I don't stay in one room and complete a whole task and then move on to another room and complete a whole task. It means that I built in some fluidity, and that actually has helped me to build some fluidity into other aspects of my life in terms of running and organizing my business or getting things done. If I have a vision for how um, something I want to do in my life, I just know that I can just do a little bit, and then, like waves on a shore,
Mhm.
slowly chip away or slowly tackle until eventually it's done in the big picture. So it's helped me to not have to stay on one thing diligently until it's done, rather do something, just one aspect of, say I want to start a garden, plant one thing, and then move on to something else until eventually the whole garden is planted or attended to. But um, just, taking one thing at a time, because there's so much we can do in this life, and we can be very hard on ourselves.
Mhm.
And we see on social media things that other people are doing that are maybe we're envious of, but really let's see those things as inspiration and just take one part of it. Like, if nothing else, go and look at one essential oil that you can
Mhm.
start bringing into your life, that just you diffuse, or just one thing. You don't need to all of a sudden be a master of all these essential oils, or one skincare routine um, that you can embrace, but just one thing at a time.
I love that. That's so wonderful. And I think that it's a really beautiful whole life approach. And that's advice that I oftentimes, not in that exact analogy, but will share with my clients when I'm talking with them about natural health, or if we're talking with something with massage and body work, and we're trying to make some big changes, and it may seem overwhelming. The moral of the story is you don't have to do all of it at once. You can take a little bit at a time. So that's a really beautiful approach. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Welcome.
Yeah. And thank you for joining us today. Do you have a favorite skincare routine that you would like to share with us? Or perhaps something that Jessica has shared today has inspired you? Leave that in the comments below and let us know how you take care of yourself. And how are you taking care of yourself during this time? Be sure to check out Jessica's website and look at the offerings that she has there, and reach out to her if you have further questions. Again, I'm Rob Meyer Kukan from 7 Notes Natural Health in Ann Arbor, Michigan. My guest has been Jessica Goniea from Jessica's Apothecary and Spa. Thank you for joining me today, Jessica.
Thanks so much, Rob.
You're very welcome. And have a wonderful day. Until we see each other again. Bye-bye.